All right, welcome to Joey's Helping Others. This is actually on my university account though, because I was given some funding to do some production equipment tutorials. And today what I want to do is talk a little bit about how we can use audio for video. So right now, the way I'm recording, you can tell I have a little lapel on. I'm in our shop. I run a hi-fi store on the weekends. It's called Dreamnoids Hi-Fi. You may hear some outside noise. You may hear someone working outside, but yeah, let's get started. So what I have here is just a couple of different pieces of equipment that you can move up in different levels. And so most of us start with our iPhone. Most of us are, getting our phone, swapping it over into video mode, and then we're recording. So let's talk about that for a second, okay? You can actually record really good video and decent audio with just your phone, nothing else, okay? The way you do that is, you can see I've been doing this for a while. My finger's already on the trigger, but I'll double check. And I'll just start recording. And here I am, I'm recording. And you can tell I'm projecting my voice. So those of us that may talk quietly or feel like we're in a room, we don't want to disturb somebody, it's going to have a huge effect on the sound. So when you're recording and you want good audio, you definitely are going to need to project your voice. You're going to want to be talking from down here. And it makes a big difference. Everything else gets overridden. So if you're in a noisy area, it gets picked up. If you have some kind of distracting noises going on, it really helps. And then in post, like when you go to post this on YouTube, people don't have to turn their volume all the way up because they can actually hear what you're saying. And so it's just a really, really nice kind of setup to get going. Now, you can tell I also know how to shoot myself. Like if you look at my frame, I'm in frame. I probably look somewhat decent because I've been shooting for that long. And on a lot of these smartphones, it does make a difference if you're shooting on this side or on this side of your camera because the mics pick up differently. This camera picks up a lot better on the front camera than on the back camera. And so that's why you'll see me using it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. And one of the next things I'm going to show you all, I need to get the cable for. So all right, and we're back. So I had to run and get this connector that I forgot. So what this connector does, and you always need to have these, Apple it's called a lightning to headphone jack adapter. This one is a third party, and it lets you plug in power as well, which I really like. So what you can do when you want to record even better audio, or say you are a soft talker but you still want to get some good audio, is that you can actually hook up a little Lav Mic, wired Lav Mic. So I actually already have a Lav on, but I'll go ahead and I'm just going to put this one on for demonstration purposes. And I can plug it into here. And then again, I can set my camera to record. And I have a wireless lav. So if I want to interview someone, like say now I can hand the camera to someone and they can ask me questions. I can go over this material. That's the whole purpose of this lav setup. It's relatively inexpensive. These go for $10 to $20. And for iPhone users, you just need an adapter. For Android users, most of y'all still have a 3.5 millimeter or a headphone jack input. And so it'll just plug right in. And yeah, it's a really great solution. So the next step up from that might be where you're saying, I like that, but I want to interview someone and I want to have my audio. So for about $30 to $40, they actually make a 2-input lav setup. So what's cool about that is that, we use the same adapter for my iPhone. And I plug this in, whoops. And I can just grab this secondary lav, plug that in, And there we go. I can go ahead and hand this over to someone else and do an interview with them and shoot my video. Or you'll see over here, I have a little tripod. This is my little iPhone tripod I use often. I could sit, some people down and set up the shot and then set up to be interviewed, along with them and have us, I'm going off camera. I guess I should maybe think logically and turn this around and say, have us, be interviewed like this. And I could either get a taller tripod if we want to do stand up, but ideally with this tripod, we would do a sit down interview. Another nice thing about using these mics is just, again, they're really inexpensive. They're very affordable. The mic I'm currently using to record this with costs $400 for the setup. It's a wireless Sennheiser mic. It uses a transmitter. Whoops. It uses a transmitter. Here we go, right? So this is what's in my pocket right now over here. And then this is what's plugged into the camera that I'm recording on. So as you can see, these are very heavy duty. These are professional grade. It's called a Sennheiser EWG4. If you are going to be doing high-end production, what I would consider beyond everyday production, and you're going to be going on site, this is a really great set to have. As you can see, I have two of them, so I can set up for interviews. That said, you have to have an audio interface to do that. It's not like a phone anymore. Let me grab my phone. It's not like a phone anymore where I can just plug them in and it works. You start getting into a very sophisticated space where each one of these needs to be plugged into a jack. And your phone isn't going to have that capability by itself. You're going to have to buy some equipment to make it do that. And then by the time you're doing that, you're getting pretty serious. So, so for most people, in my opinion, you can stop right here. If you just get these mics and hook them up or just project well into your phone, for many of y'all, that is more than enough. It's okay. You can just go with that. But let's talk a little bit about if you want to go further, right? Say you're like, no, I want to do a podcast. I want to get a large condenser microphone. I want to get an audio interface. That's where we start moving up in price and sophistication. One of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of even having this discussion is just that there's so many variables. There's so many different ways you can do it. The way I'm going to talk about it right now is just the way I do it. Everybody will have a different way to do it. Okay? There are 10 different kinds of microphones you can buy at this price. I happen to have chose this one. I think it's great. Okay? But you're going to talk to someone else and they're going to be like, that's not a good microphone. You should get this one. And you know what? Like for their uses, it may be. And maybe it is just a better microphone. I don't know. I haven't tested all of them in quite some time, but I have tested over 50 microphones, just so you all know. When I did my undergraduate work at UT Austin, I was actually hired by an audio engineering professor to test every single microphone they had, test all of their polar patterns, test all of their responses. So I'm pretty nerdy about microphones. And so when I recommend this one, this is called the Audio-Technica 2050. It has a sibling, a smaller sibling, younger sibling that's a 2020 that is a great microphone. The 2020 is, I believe, $150 with this mount, okay? Because I do a little bit more sophisticated work, I got the 2050, which allows me to do some of these polar patterns I was talking about, which is just the way it records. Most microphones are gonna have some kind of preference to where the sound comes from. This one actually allows you to have a figure 8. It allows you to do omnidirectional, and it allows you to do cardioid, okay? Yeah, I threw some terms out there. But that's the basics of kind of the patterns of these mics. Now, this is called a large diaphragm mic because if we are able to kind of see, maybe, hopefully, there is a large diaphragm. It's about this big inside this capsule, and that's what's recording your voice, or my voice, when I speak into it. So this has to connect into something. Now, I can connect it into this audio interface and hook it up to my camera, and I could record that way. And if I wanted to do a high-end like production, This is a 4K camera. It's a Sony a7 III. I'm going to be recording to a card. It's going to be a huge undertaking, in my opinion, to hook this up to here, to hook it up to there, to set up all my lights. Everything. Every time I want to do this, it's going to be a big deal. And that's fine. I mean, there really is nothing wrong with that. It's just that for most of us that are in our home, we're looking, even if we're just going from this to this, we're just looking to kind of jump up a little bit. So what I have been researching are inexpensive audio interfaces. So what an audio interface is it's something that allows you to plug in like a microphone. So we can plug this in, right? And hook this up to your computer to record your audio. Or this one specifically, you can hook it up and look at this. It's an audio adapter for your phone. Okay, and I can plug this directly in. Now I do need to plug external power into this, but I can actually hook this up, and I have a whole video where I show this, so I'll include that in the description, and just record using this setup. Now something I can also do is I can get a longer cable, which I have one. You can get like a 3-foot or a 6-foot cable, or you could get a longer XLR cable, and we could put this on the tripod, right? Ah, yes. We can put this on our tripod, we can set it up, we can set our little mic up, we can set our video up, and we can record for an hour, 2 hours, depending on how much space you have on your phone. And we're no longer going like, you have to have this $5,000 camera set up with this Rokinon fixed lens that I'm using, and this, $250 audio interface, in addition to, the editing system and everything else you need. You can literally record onto your phone, high quality audio, and even edit it in iMovie if you wanted, or Adobe Rush, which is all on the phone. So, what I'm really trying to get across is just that, yes, people like to see all this gear, but really, I am all about a means to an end. I am all about finding what minimally will get your job done financially and have good results that is easy to use. So that's why I recommend this kind of approach. Most people would probably be like, this is too cheap, don't use this. You need to get into something like this. This is what the real people use. And the answer is that now that everybody's at home, everybody's using all kinds of equipment. And I think that this is more than sufficient for what most people are doing. Okay? Now, a medium between doing this, right, and doing this is getting what we call a shotgun mic. So when I shoot videos with my business partner for our setups here at the shop when we're reviewing equipment, this is the microphone we use. I believe it's less than $100. It's just a little shotgun microphone. That's what it's called, and it just means that it has a very, very pointed way in that it records. And like these, it just has a little headphone jack. And so we can plug this in, again, to your phone. We can plug it into the camera. And it will be very easy for us to get some really great sound. This thing works phenomenally. And again, it's an inexpensive route. And it's really nice because, it's not attached to anybody. It's just catching the sound. So normally for us, we place it like right underneath here where you can't see, and just have it pointing up. Most people would think you would want to mount it up top. And you can, except that it's like we really are a shop, and we're going to be moving our stuff around as we shoot. So I hope this was informative. I hope this gave you some insight. You see that I also have some headphones here. These are just different styles of headphones. These are the kind of headphones you use in a noisy environment. You'll see that they're closed plastic backings. You can get these headphones from anywhere from $20 to, I believe these were probably like $100 or $150. And then these are what you call high-end audio monitoring headphones. They're for dorks or geeks like me that want to edit and be able to hear everything around them and hear what's going on. They're open ear headphones, so you can actually see the back is open. So you do need to be in a quiet environment when using them. These are Grado. They're handmade in Brooklyn, and they cost about $1,000. So I really enjoy using them, as you can probably guess. But all of that said, where do you fall, right? What are your production needs? Like, what are you trying to create? And then once you have that idea, like, feel free to contact me. My email is jtlopez123@tamu.edu. You're more than welcome to say, hey, Joey, you mentioned this part. That's kind of where I'm at. Or Joey, I've already gone through these and these didn't work for what I wanted to do. I do want to get an audio interface. Great. Because the easiest way for me to teach you all is to work with real world issues that you're trying to accomplish. Most of the time, from the way I've learned and from the way I've taught, I've seen that tutorials never tend to work out, especially when doing production-based work, because everybody has slightly different equipment, slightly different experiences. And so you're watching it and you're just like, I pushed that button. I plugged that thing in like that and it's still not doing it. Feel free to contact me and I will help you get set up. And because that's what I'm here to do. I'm the director of the New Media Lab in Bolton 113. And we have similar equipment like this on campus. And that's going to be available to students, faculty, for them to use and create materials with. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope you're having a good day.